Hello everyone. To start off our year, we had a soft launch in January 2026 themed Soft Launch Big Splash, where we invited our partners, few loyal fans, and male allies for an intimate get together. It was also an opportunity to share a little backstory of why we started this podcast. We started officially in October 2025. And it's a vision that Achom and I have had for a very long time, since we came to years ago. But we never really got, first of all, we never had the courage to start it. We didn't have the right partners to begin it. And so I think the timing was quite right for me and Achom to start for Pod, because we are passionate about the vision and the purpose of this podcast, which is to tell our story, to empower young people, especially the girls and women. But we don't live in a vacuum. We live with men, and that's why we have our brothers, our partners here with us.
So why we started this podcast, most of us say we're South Sudanese, and most of us didn't grow up here in South Sudan. People grew up in Khartoum, Kampala, Uganda, Kenya, wherever. But we didn't ever have like that big sister or where to like reach out to get advice and all these things. So me and Doris just sat down and we're like, let's advise people. Let's advise like our younger sisters and all these things. Me and Doris, we've been friends since we were 8 or 9. Yes, imagine. Yes. We're in the same primary school. I think we met like the first time in class 3 or class 4. Yeah, like since we're young. And then I'm from Jonglei State. She's from Central Equatorial State. But we used to think we're cousins. Until we came to South Sudan. And then we're like, no, she's Kuku, you're Dinka. And I'm like, she's my cousin. And then our fathers went to the same school, ministry, what? Our siblings were supposed to marry each other. I still think they should. No.
It's not an Pod party without good food, drinks, fun games, and good vibes. We had plenty of variety of food. I mean, what's a party in Africa without meat? We came through with nyama choma, we had pork choma, we had chicken skewers, and pilau, coastal pilau, sio pilau njeri. We had coastal pilau, and to cater to our diaspora guests, we had boiled eggs for the Ghanaian guests. But it was really an amazing layout of dishes and drinks. The energy in the room was electric. It was an opportunity to make new friends, interact, and have meaningful conversations. Towards the end of the evening, we asked our guests a few questions. And one of the questions was, what is one thing they are leaving behind in 2025? Secondly, what is one thing they are carrying into 2026? And lastly, what would they like to see more of in our Matriline podcast? And in this video, you're going to see clips of what our guests had to say.
Hi, my name is Eugene Ansa, and this is my wife here, Josephine Zibama Ansa. What am I doing in 2025? I'm leaving behind my single life. Now I'm married to this wonderful lady here, and I'm going into 2026 to be the better version of myself for my family that I'm about to have ahead. Yes.
So in regards to what we want to see a little bit more for Our Matriline Podcast, I think for me, the biggest thing I want to see is conversations with different South Sudanese in diaspora, whatever that may be, whether it's in the African continent or external. I think our story is such a unique one, and having a platform like this to be able to share it is so wonderful. And also, having the opportunity to share these conversations with our friends, our partners, people who are allies to South Sudan is so important, because for us to dream of a greater country, we need that support, and just with our friends and our family, that's the beginning of something new.
My name is Foda Michael, and I would like to share some of the inspiration I've gotten from the Matriline podcast. And I feel like it's really important to voice some of these stories that many women and young girls are going through. And I feel like something that I would like to hear more of is more talk about reproductive health, because I feel like some of our young girls, even the older ones, didn't really get the opportunity to learn more about their bodies and learn how to take better care of themselves. So I feel that would be a really good thing to hear more about, especially in our perspective as South Sudanese, because it's a different society. And second, also, I would like to hear more about sex, because I feel like sex is made to be something so evil and it's mostly one sided. And I feel like there's something to learn for both genders, not just women and girls. So I feel like those two are things that if they can be talked about more openly, it would be great. And finally, something I want to drop moving into this year is to see men and boys more as partners, more as people who can help women and girls grow and become better. Because for me, coming as a mother of three, I believe that my boys can actually be pioneers for women and girls without having to change or reduce their masculinity.
Hi, my name is Shalene. I'm a friend of Chums and Doris's. And on the first question, what would I like to see covered in OMP? I would like a topic where an older woman comes and they speak to the younger generation, but as opposed to, the older woman giving feedback based on the older generation's perspective. I would like someone who is actually really supportive of both millennial and Gen Z's, and instead of where there's sort of stabbing, not really stabbing, but like where there's like, do not do this, do this, but what are some of the ideas that they would have picked and some of the things that they see the younger generations doing and they applaud them for it, as opposed to, oh, we don't like what we're doing. I would love to see that. Just the older generation woman and the younger generation or the current generation just merging together and making something beautiful where they're like, okay, coexisting, and we're like, okay, proud to wear womanhood, how far it has come. Then what am I bringing to 2026? My theme for 2026 is that people are awesome, and this is because I feel like we as humankind, we go about with negative perspective on people, especially those outside our bloodlines, like our relatives and our friends. So most of the time when we meet someone, immediately instead of thinking of them as a good person, we think of them as a bad person. And I am going mainly with this theme where people are awesome, just to expect the best out of everyone, because I believe and feel that there is good in everyone, and I just want to shift my perspective from a negative one to a positive one. Then what I'm leaving behind are my toxic and cycles, bad and ugly patterns and cycles that didn't really do me any good in back in 2025. Just really toxic cycles, and I'm really excited for what 2026 have. All the best, and I'm a major fan of OMP. Go Matriline.
Yes, I'm so glad to be here. 2026. It was an amazing year coming to learn about the podcast that you two ladies have been up to. And it's one thing that I've learned a lot, especially from cultural diversity to the modern kind of life that we're living as South Sudanese women. And one thing I will always want to hope for and do better is the fact that we would need to have more guests to interact in many other uh, activities that or issues that are happening in the communities that we can actually address, and also feel that we are a community to it, or feel that we are involved. For example, being a girl or being a lady who is there deep in the villages, or someone who is not actually exposed to the internet, and this is one of the platforms that they can actually interestingly get to learn and also look forward into. For example, our young girls who are in their 20s, those who are in school, who don't even know what is happening, especially in our cultures. This is one thing that we would focus into. like hosting more guests would actually be more interesting. As we said, it's diversity. That means male and female, and yeah, to keep the community going. And to the second question that came in, what will I take into 2026, or what will I change? Oh, lifestyle, that I would say, as in Juba, most of our activities is like nightlife. So what I would want to take into 2026 is to have maybe day activities that I can indulge into, and then night I go and rest home, and then get to the next day, which would give me more peace of mind and more rest. Thank you, Shachom and Doris.
Annalyn, Lady Lynn, this is Mox, my husband. واحد من الحاجات اللي احنا ممكن نقول انه يخلوه في 2025 ما يجي في 2026 اللي هو انه ما يدوا سبيس لنسوان انه يوروا نفسهم في حاجات كتير. ما ضروري يكون بوليتكس عشان بيجي حاجات كتير له علاقة بالسياسة، لكن في مجالات كتير نسوان ممكن يقدر يدوا رأيهم يكون أقوى من الرأي بتاعه. So أنا بطلب إنه في 2026 يكون عندنا مساحات أكبر، محلات اللي إحنا ممكن نتقابل فيه عشان ندي رأي بتاعنا في حاجات، نقدر نشارك مع بعض أفكار بتاعنا عشان نقدر نخلق أمة أو نيشن بيقدر يساعد الناس اللي فعلا محتاجين إنه يساعدوه في الفترات الجاية. وكأنا مني أنا ذاتي عشان أول ده مننا نحن الاثنين، سو مني أنا مقصودة خالص إنه أكون أنا نفسي، أنا to represent myself في أي حاجة اللي أنا أقدر أعمله. ما ضروري إنه أنا أمشي له عشان أنا أكون فخورة بنفسي أو أكون أقدر أعمل حاجة أقول إنه أنا lean and myself. So أنا مسج حقي لأي بيت في السنة ده 2026 إنه you must stand for yourself darling. يا ما تنتظر أي حاجة من أي زول especially from the agenda. يا عشان إحنا هنا يا هو بنطلع حاجة ندارين. فمسج حقي الاثنين حلوين ديل أنا أقول لكم just continue with what you are doing right now. في ناس كتير هم قاعدين ياخدوا قوة حقهم من each podcast أو each episode I mean انتوا قاعدين تنزلوا في البودكاست بتاعكم، فنحن منتظرين الجاي عشان نحن نكون عندنا قوة من الابيسود اللي انتوا حتنزلوه. We are so excited for whatever it's coming next for this year 2026. So
yeah, and by the way, you gained 2 new subscribers. You should start following.
Yeah, so for you who's watching now, don't forget to subscribe. قبل ما تنتهي أي فيديو بتاعهم especially this video قبل ما تنتهيوا please subscribe. وما تنسى تمشي في فيسبوك تعمل لهم follow, TikTok, any other platform. تمام؟ So yeah, thank you.
And like the video.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi guys, this is Doris Poni, one half of our Matriline Podcast, aka OM Pod, and I would like to extend a huge thank you to our guests who are featured on this episode, and I'm going to answer the same questions that they did. So as our Matriline Podcast in 2026, expect more authentic stories, more real stories, and cut stories from the underdog, and we are going to feature more guests. Thank you so much for the positive feedback that we've received so far. We'd also like to incorporate voices from South Sudanese in diaspora and allies of South Sudan in diaspora. And going forward, we'll also maintain our consistency. And what we are leaving behind in 2025 is procrastination and poor planning. Going forward, we are going to be better planners. You're definitely going to see more of us this year and a bigger, better OM Pod. So happy new year to everyone, and stay tuned. Subscribe to all our platforms and engage with us whenever you can. Peace.